But man, you could, but this could have been so much easier. Like, why does everybody always go to the asshole solution first?
More than a little like biting into a Mintow, but it tasted like candy apples and cupcake frosting. What did? Part of my mind insisted. It wasn't like I had just put anything in my mouth. Between the Twilight statuette and Pinkie Pie, I felt almost like I was on Mintows without them. Only cleaner. Better. More...
necromantic soul magic. Let's face it, in any other setting, the idea of putting souls inside objects is hardcore necromancy. And this is just showing it why it's awesome. Necromancy for the win.
wholesome. I turned the statuette around to read the base. It didn't match the others. Of course it wouldn't match the others. Awareness. It was under E. I felt joyous and heartbroken at the same time. The statuette was a reminder, both of what I had done wrong and of the cost had I not been pulled from the abyss by my friends. A sorrowful acknowledgement of the damage I had done, and now I needed to repair. And a messenger telling me that I had the strength to not do it again. And perhaps most of all, a keepsake from Homage, letting me know that she understood my weakness with acceptance.
She'll always be
and
there with you.
Thank you, Homage. This means more to me than you can know. I floated it into my saddlebag, which Homage had apparently floated up here with us while I was too emotionally out of it to notice. Opening the flap in the pouch where it held all three other statues, I took a piece of cloth and tied Pinkie Pie next to Twilight. Now, they could be together again.
Aww.
Is
Is this Twi-Pie shipping?
Right.
I'm more of a Twi-Dash
As Homage closed the
shipper,
safe, I took
be
notice
honest.
of the last item mounted inside the safe. It was some sort of magical energy pistol, but not of any make I had ever seen.
Ooh, is it
and
that
with a grip
gun?
that wouldn't even fit in the
What
pony's
is
mouth.
that gun? Like, why is it
Curiosity
called
sparked.
that gun?
I asked Homage about it. Long story, she told me. One night, Joke Blue and I were poking our hooves around Fetlock, trying to find a stable we'd heard about, when there was this strange explosion that lit up the clouds above. At first, we thought it was thunder, but then all sorts of debris started raining out of the sky. Chunks of the strangest sky wagon you ever laid eyes on.
The
We took
Enclave
cover in a
having a
burned-out
civil
passenger
war?
wagon. When it was over, I found this thing amongst the rubble. Homage chuckled. Okay, maybe not that long of a story.
No, not really.
What is it? Nastiest magical gun in the Equestrian Wasteland has ever seen, to my knowledge. One shot from that thing will turn whatever you hit into vapor. And not like the magical energy weapons you've seen, which do that only once in a blue moon. Every single time. Homage sounded scared of the gun. I believe you could kill a dragon with one shot from that thing. And with those words, so did I. Where did it come from?
The
I wondered
sky!
The idea that there were ponies. The Pegasi, maybe.
Yeah.
With weapons that devastating.
It came
so
from the
detailed
skies,
as
come on. You put
Joe
points
Blue
in the
figured it was from
intelligence.
some sort of flying tank that the Pegasi were experimenting with and it blew up on them. Me? Homage swallowed. I know I'm being a bit foolish, but I can't help but think it fell from a lot higher than that. Higher.
It's an
I had
alien
the
ray
strange mental
gun?
image of items falling to Equestria from the moon, emptying from Nightmare Moon's toy chest.
Oh, that would be cool too.
Homage
That would be
looked a bit
fucking
embarrassed.
awesome. Nightmare
You
Moon
laugh.
is my favorite alicorn.
I promised I wouldn't, and resolved not to, no matter how hard it was. The beautifully sexy gray unicorn took a moment to gather her thoughts, then, starting cautiously, I once met a zebra. That wasn't what I expected her to say at all. My ears shot up. I leaned forward. They don't have the same relationship to the sky that we do. Obviously, since they have no Pegasi. But it's more than that. Before the apocalypse, we ponies had always looked to the sky with a sense of joy and safety. We saw the sun, guided through the sky by Celestia during the day, and the moon, Luna's charge, keeping an eye on us during the night. Princess Celestia and Princess Luna were our benevolent rulers, and even though most ponies never met them personally, the sun and the moon were symbols of their kind presence everywhere, and to every pony in Equestria. I felt my body leaning
This is
closer,
important, listen
wanting
up.
to catch every word of this. I'd never heard Celestia and Luna spoken of this way. When they perished in the apocalypse, the Pegasi closed off the sky, sealing the sun and the moon from us. We turned them into deities to keep them alive with us. Even those trapped underground in the stable seem to do so.
Oh.
A sort of parallel evolution, if you will. What she was trying to say was almost blasphemous, but I bucked away the desire to admonish her, leaning precariously closer to hear. Homage had a perspective that I wanted to hear, even if I probably would not have listened to it from any pony else. She made me wonder, ask questions. For instance, would this explain why Calamity did not believe in the goddesses? Was atheism a Pegasus trait? Unlike us, they had never lost the embrace of the sun and the moon.
Okay, this is interesting.
They cringed from the sky, Homage said. The statement was something I would have expected from a propaganda poster, not a pony who had learned this directly from a zebra. But I knew Homage, and it would not be like her to speak objective truth as she knew it. The zebras look up and see the stars above shining down on us from great black emptiness. And the stars, they know, are not benevolent. I leaned forward, tipped over, and fell on my face. Homage stopped, covering a chuckle with a hoof. When I'd gotten back up, probably looking as sheepish as I felt, she continued. There is an intelligence up there, the zebras believe, from the stars themselves. The stars burn with cold, malicious fire. No number of them could warm up the sky at night. They wish ill on our world. And sometimes they will act, not against us directly, but to enable us to harm ourselves and ruin ourselves. I opened my muzzle, the suggestion that zebras were a bit batty dying on my lips. Yes, it sounded insane, but
yeah,
didn't we have legends that suggested the same?
It's them
I recalled
aliens.
the story of the mare on the moon.
Dogging.
The real version, not that stallion on the moon nonsense. The stars will aid in her escape. In particular, they tell of four malevolent stars with hearts of cruelty and chaos which yearn to taste all pain and destruction, wrought by iron hooves.
Cthulhu.
With a grimace, Homage added,
The zebra's Cthulhu.
If there's any truth to zebra mythology, I'd guess we've given them quite the banquet. 4 stars helping destroy Equestria. Now why did that sound familiar? Homage shrugged off
Okay, I
the
need to
eerie
talk about
atmosphere
this.
that had settled.
Okay, so it sounds like the zebras are actually a Aztec, Roman, Chinese, African blend. And I'm all about the Aztecs, but at the same time, they got some Cthulhu shit going on in this. Like, what were you smoking when you made the zebras? Also, I've been playing a lot of Stellaris, so the whole the space, it really speaks of fanatical xenophobe in Stellaris. That's what the zebras sound like, because the Stellaris fanatical xenophobe trait, oh god, fucking fly, actually has a lot of the same sounding stuff, which I think is quite interesting. Ah, man. What does it say about a race when they look to the sky and they are cowering in fear? Because it doesn't speak of one that's really... Again, I can only speak of my experience as a human and try and think about other races with different mental, I guess, tics or mental processes. I feel like I sound arrogant, but I can only speak from the human viewpoint. We look upon the stars and we look in wonder and amazement, and we want to know what's out there. Well, some of us, while there is fear, there's also amazement and curiosity. And that curiosity is what pushes us to advance up to the sky. You know, we landed on the moon. We sent machines to Mars. Like, we dream of exploring the cosmos. It sounds like the zebras are, again, I'm going to say ignorant, but that's not really justice to them as a race. They're not humans, so they don't have the same mental processes, but I can only judge them as a human, because that's all I know. I guess I'm going to say that sounds ignorant and primitive. Oh god, that feels so bad, because they're zebras. But yeah, I guess it just really sounds like the zebras as a culture are It sounds so bad it sounds bad in my head, and I know it's going to sound bad when it comes out. It just makes me think of them as primitive, cowardly creatures, but I know they're not. But the only way I can describe what I feel about this... Oh man, this is so bad. I should just shut up. I know that being not human, I should not compare them to humanity, but that's all I can do. Because the ponies are more like humans. I know they're not actually primitive. I mean, they have guns. They managed to develop a balefire bomb. Yet, at the same time, they managed to develop a balefire bomb. Yet they thought the explosion would only last a couple, like the radiation stuff would only last a couple weeks. At least the ponies knew it was going to be a lot fucking. Well, they didn't know. They didn't. You said that, K-Cat. Scootaloo and Apple Bloom and Sweetie Belle figured out it was probably going to last a little bit longer. But, yeah. At the same time, I guess on like a fundamental philosophical level, I just can't agree with anything the zebras just revealed about them. Well, Homage revealed about the zebras. And then again, unreliable narrator. Because she learned this from a zebra, who's, I assume, not a ghoul zebra. So, a normal living zebra who wasn't alive back then, so we don't know how the mythology has changed since that time. You know? And it would actually be pulling it out of your ass if the zebras also had actual true vaults. Because the Cutie Mark Crusaders had a hunch it would be a lot longer than that. So, and we're almost out of time. Oh, I don't want to go out bashing the zebras. I'm not the racist against zebras. No. But I guess I just have a natural xenophobes. I don't like any group that's, I guess, I don't know if I'm using the right terms. Like, that's my problem. I'm worried about I'm using the wrong terms and I seem like an asshole. Okay. Fact is that the zebras have a disturbing fear of the stars and space. That's fine. You want to stay on a planet, go ahead. But oh man. I guess I'm just so much of a space file, like sci-fi file or whatever you want to call it, that the idea of an entire culture fearing the cosmos kind of, I don't understand. Right? I don't. I do understand it's their culture, it's their belief system, but I, on a personal and intellectual level, do not understand it. Maybe they got attacked by aliens at some time. If that comes up, then I'll understand. That's perfectly understandable. It just sounds like the zebras have a very irrational fear of the unknown, or the... I gotta learn how this culture developed. I don't have enough knowledge on how this culture has developed and formed itself. I'm running on unreliable narrator quotes, and I need to cut this off because we are about to go over. But I want to learn more about the zebra culture because I'm only running on half-formed ideas and stuff. I hope we learn more soon.